And then I thought, if I'm going to make a homemade book, I'm going to bind it in leather and make it a witchy book to go with my
Always
witchy
wanted to own
cards.
one. I
What was
always wanted to own a witchy book.
that? I've never had a witchy book.
Me neither.
I have a lot of other witchy stuff, but not the book. So, what time is it now? Should we start?
Yeah, I think so. There were a few people, there are a few more people who said they would join, but yeah, it's 5 past. Let's go.
What time is oh yeah. Well, actually there was I wanted to cheat and just pick a card that I wanted to talk about. I said, no, no, don't do that. Don't cheat. So let's see if it comes up. All right, so ooh. Now this one here is called Inca. Let's see.
What's it called?
Inca. And the ancient Peruvians.
Inca.
Inca, yeah.
Mhm.
INCA. So I walked with a Peruvian teacher for about 4 years and went to Peru and went to the temples. And this one was ordered by one of the other participants that was in Peru with us. So it has a lot of the symbolism from the Inca temples. So it has
The cross, the Inca cross.
it has the Inca cross, which is the, let me see, let's find it in the book here. 6. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to read it off to you, the actual creation story, but not all at once. We'll just do bits and pieces and stop and talk about the bits and pieces. But because I walked with a Peruvian shaman for 4 years, I'm also a mesa bundle carrier. So, as a Mesa bundle carrier, I received many teachings and understandings of the Peruvian spirituality. My journey to Peru opened me up to much wisdom and connections with the ancient temples, the land, and its people, both today and in the past. The Inca cross. Each level of the cross represents a facet of consciousness. The top left, love, trust, and connection. The top right, present, truth, productivity, and responsibility. Bottom left, acknowledgement, protection, and awareness. Bottom right, expression, passion, and happiness. The center opening represents within our own center all that lies beyond infinity. In the middle, the opening is Center Mountain of Machu Picchu, a solitary peak set apart from the surrounding mountain range. So this mountain range travels from the southern tip of South America, down in Argentina, all the way up through South America, through Central America, up through North America, and ends at Alaska. So that's the whole mountain range, and the mountains are connected on that whole length of 3 Americas. But this center mountain, stands alone, separate from the entire mountain range. And so they talk about that the mountain range is the spine of Mother Earth. It travels from the southern tip to the north. And I've shown very many visions through my travels. I was at Machu Picchu, and we went to all the sacred locations around the temple. And one of them was right next to the Oh. The temple wasn't about high ranking, the social aspect. This was totally spiritual. And there was 1,000 priestesses there who would sing into the alcoves that were placed all over the temple. And the temple itself is built into the side of the mountain, and it's a spiral, a giant spiral. And in that spiral are all these alcoves, 1,000 of them. And so these priestesses would go to their alcove and chant. And when they chanted into the alcove, it would reverberate off Center Mountain and vibrate the energy of that mountain. And it's like an acupressure point. That vibration of Center Mountain that they were able to move with their voices would vibrate the entire mountain range from Argentina to Alaska. So because there is no such thing as time, past, present, and future are all coexisting at the same time, those priestesses are still chanting into those alcoves and still vibrating Center Mountain and still vibrating the spine of Mother Earth from the ancient past. And so this card honors that. See these, okay. On the card, I wish I could, I'm going to have to figure out how to do the screen share so you can see it properly. So there's the Machu Picchu is in the center, and on the card is the Center Mountain, which is the Earth's Kundalini. There's also the Puma temple at Cusco, Peru. So the entire city was a temple in the shape of a puma lounging. And over the thousands of years, much of the temple has deteriorated. And so some of it is right in the middle of the city, and some of it is sprawled out beyond the city. And let me see what so on in the Puma temple here, I have a statue spewing water, the puma spewing water. We went to the the brain of the Puma temple, which most of it the stones have fallen and deteriorated, and it was just stones laying all over the place. But at one point, we had to go through a cave that had an opening at the other end, but the cave was so long that it was pitch black, and we had to go without any lights. We had to feel our way through the darkness, and we were told to keep our left hand on the ceiling wall because it was low. Make sure you don't bump your head, but keep your left hand on that wall because there are openings off to the right that if you put your right hand on the wall, you might end up following one of the other tunnels down into the temple. There's people been lost down there apparently, so I don't know if they were ever found or not, or if it's just part of their myth. But I made sure that I had my left hand on that wall the whole way through the Puma's brain, and that was at Cusco. And okay, and I wish I could figure out that they have the condor's heart. Oh, I wonder if I turned on another light. Let me try that. Oh. Wow, spotlight on sports. That's a little better. Yeah.
It's getting better now.
Yeah. So that's the puma spewing water, and this, whoops, the heartstone, the condor's heartstone, is where the oracle priestess would stand to do her ceremony. And so for 2 years, I could see out through her eyes as she's chanting to Center Mountain. And when I'm doing a ceremony here, I could feel her looking out through my eyes at the modern world and what I'm doing in ceremony. So we did that for a couple of years, and she's still with me as far as like energetically connected. You know, it's like particle entanglement. Once you're connected, you're always connected. Now the other opening there is the, yep, right over here is the doorway. It's Amaro, gate, doorway to the gods. I can't even pronounce the Peruvian word for it, but we did let me see, this side over there. So we did a full moon midnight ceremony there, and apparently, I mean, that was the whole reason I went to Peru, because I wanted to find out. I mean, it was my 60th birthday when I went to Peru, and I wanted to find out what my life purpose was, because I didn't feel that I was actually living my fulfillment and what I was supposed to be doing. And apparently, if you went to the gateway to the gods and asked your question, it may or may not answer you and give you direction. So I spent thousands of dollars to go on this trip to Peru, to go to, that was my whole goal, was the gateway to the gods, to find out what my life purpose was. And midnight, full moon, and you go up to the mountain, and there's a little alcove there, and you're down on your knees on a stone, and you're putting your forehead against the mountain, and you, in your mind, you're meditating, and you're asking your question, which the mountain may or may not talk to you, with internally. It's an internal energetic thing. And it talked to me. The mountain spoke. And its answer kind of blew me away, because I asked, like, what is my life purpose? And the mountain said, "You're doing a good job." I said, I spent thousands of dollars and 3 weeks in Peru, and with all of my disabilities, to find out that I was already living my life purpose. Well, that was a major teaching for me, because now when I meet someone who says, I don't know what my life's purpose is, well, then I ask them, well, what do you do now? Like, what's your passions? What are your joy? What it's like in your community? And then I help them discover that they are already living their life purpose, because it doesn't have to be, out there Greenpeace and putting on the big show. Us doing what we do within our own community and within our own homes is part of our life purpose. And if it goes beyond that, great. But building good humanity and being a good person, I mean, that is a pretty powerful life purpose, because there's so many out there not doing that. So those who are, congratulations. So what we got here? Mountains, third eye. Yeah, I told that story. Okay, so I have the condor and the raven feather. Let me see. So the raven feather was from northern Canada. So you're bringing in the Canadian energy, my energy. And then the condor feather is I picked up when I was in Peru as a rescue, wildlife rescue, where they took donations, and any feathers that were dropped by the 2 condors that they were looking after, you could give a donation and receive one of the feathers. So, and the condors, they live to be over 80 years old, so they outlived the owner who had them as pets. And so they had to go to wildlife rescue because they didn't know how to survive in the wild. So it was really quite poignant that the condor feather be on there, on this particular card. So my question is to you, did any of that information align with what's going on in your own lives, and would you like to share?
Well, the matter of fact is that I really have been to Machu Picchu at full moon, and I almost missed it because I didn't realize it was full moon. And I was going to get a jacket because I was feeling cold. And the lady took my arm and said, "You gotta stay here." And I said, "Why?" Because the full moon is rising, and the full moon there is rising quite quickly, as it's close to the equator, and the speed of the Earth at that point is quite high. And so I was witnessing the full moon rise, and I had been longing to go to this place for all my life. And I had to turn 55, I think, or 60 as well, in order to make it possible. So it was a really important part of my life. And I was wearing this Inca cross for quite some time, and I'm gonna wear it again because I like this very much. And the story I got later is that one of the popes, of the Christian popes, when he came to Cusco, he was very glad that the Incas already had a cross, and he thought it was a Christian cross. But then he was being told that it's not; it's much older. So this is the story which connects me to that. I mean, thank you very much for sharing your experiences, because I was always very curious how the priestess and priestesses were performing their ceremonies, and it was amazing to see that they had terraces for growing wheat and everything. So I think at that time they had been pretty self-sufficient up there.
Well, there was men living there, but they were the ones doing the growing the crops and building and maintenance and stuff like that. So they needed the laborers and such. And I imagine there was families there too, but
Yeah.
on top of that, there was the priestesses. So that's what she showed me anyway. I mean, that was her version.
Of course, yeah. But
Yeah.
still, it's a lot of information I was longing for. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, your hand up there, Millen.
Wonderful drawing, and thank you for bringing that wisdom on to paper, materializing it for us, and then sharing it with us, Gail. Yeah. Oh, there were many. That surprised me today. Didn't expect it, but that's how life is. When you already started as the oracle, being an oracle, and just singing out into the world to vibrate it, that is something I've been doing since I'm a little girl. Right, and but also to put that intention behind, so I could feel the strong intent that these priestesses had when they sang, or chanted, or created, right? Oneness. And then also the puma, it shook me really deeply the last months or two. Pumas or the black leopards of both continents appears over and over and over, and especially then spewing the water, where I'm so connected with the water and getting things into flow. Said, yeah, so I'm getting all these messages. It's time to go out into the world. And not just do it right in nature, but
Yeah.
to do it on a bit bigger
Yeah. And I just watch for
platform.
opportunities that show up, and like me meeting Suzanne. I met her in Hawaii, of all places. Next thing we know, we're building a business together between Canada and Bavaria. I was like, okay, didn't see that one coming.
And I have a beautiful story, and I think it will fit because it has to do with Peru and Germany. It must have been 5-6 years ago, can't remember exactly the year. There was a South America, you may know the name, I forgot it. They have a grand shaman for a while, for whole South of America for 10 years, and then one switches. This man was 82 and had a vision he had to come to Germany. He did not know where he needed to go in Germany, so he traveled around, and a friend of mine met him and said, maybe I have the site that appeared in your vision. And so she called us to come, a few of us, to stay overnight and host this gentleman and his translator into Spanish, and Spanish, and a woman, another translator into German. And yes, she had here in the Franconian mountain ranges, she had exactly that site that he had seen in his vision, that he decided, with really no money, to go on this trip with 82. And the reason was because he invited us German women to again go out into nature and let the energy, the wisdom, the knowledge, the knowingness, I should say, the knowingness flow through us, and to anchor here this on earth in groups of women. So, and I never forgot that, but I sense it's now more and more the time to do that. So we
Yeah.
have German women right here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you'll have to join us at Suzanne's in September.
if I
We're
can,
going to
I'll
be
be there.
doing some amazing ceremonies on her
Cool.
very, very spiritual land. When I went there last year, I mean, she went and rented a walker, and I've been traveling with a cane for well over 2 decades. And then I got to her place. We did a little outing with the walker, a couple of outings with the walker, and then I wanted to go take pictures of her garden. And then so I'm walking around the garden, I'm taking pictures, and I get around the house and get into the backyard, and I'm going, oh, look at that. I don't have my walker or my cane. Look at this, Suzanne. I did that. I showed off. I said, look at me dance. I didn't fall that time, though.
Yeah, you cannot not dance, right?
I can. I love to dance. I just have to
I
dance.
know, I know.
So yeah, I totally, stepped out of my pain and disability while I was on her land. The whole time I was there, I didn't have to use a walker or a cane. And
Holy
yeah,
land, and Susan is rather holy too.
yeah, yeah. Anybody else that have something to connect? Okay, Susan.
Hey, yeah, a couple of things. One was also the vocalizing, the chanting. I have really found how it resonates through my body and out into the universe, and how healing it is. So yeah, I just imagined the high priestesses connecting with mother and healing and the beauty of that. And I also connected with the dark cave that you went into, because
Hmm.
I just got back from Portugal and I was in Sintra in the Pina, I don't know how to pronounce it, Pena National Park, which is incredibly magical. There's so much spiritual energy in there. I don't know if you've been there, but and I wanted to sit with the frogs. And there's one spot, so I had to climb up on some rocks and whatever, and there ended up being a little opening that was completely hidden from the path unless you went and did this little climb. So I went in, and it was pitch black. And right in the doorway were these giant, like 5-inch black slugs. I looked them up
Oh.
later. And I was like, is this a sign not to go in? Like, I didn't know, but I just felt so drawn to go in. And it was very narrow and short. You know, I could barely fit in. And there were bugs all over the walls. And it was pitch black, but I did have my phone with me, so I did use the flashlight. And I just went in, and then it turned. So I was like, oh no, you can't see around the corner, right?
Right.
But I kept going. And then it ended. It was so magical and incredible. And I have to admit, I came back out and I realized after, what if I'd gone right to the end and knocked on it? But I was afraid. I had fear. But that's okay. That's where I am right now, right?
Yeah.
But it was an incredible experience of trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was quite the. And I don't like the dark. But I said, okay, my whole life is about overcoming fears, no matter what they are. Even, years ago when my granddaughter had a pet snake and had a fear of snakes, and it was all about overcoming my fears, I said, okay, hand me the snake. And then she hands it to me, it's wrapping itself around my hand and around my arm, and its face is coming towards me and looking me right in the eye, and I keep going like this to make it go away, but without, not my granddaughter, just breathe calm, Grandma, just breathe calm. And I go, okay, I got the snake. Ah. I did it once. That's it. Anybody else have something they wanted to share about this story? No? Okay. Let's see what else we got in the little magic pouch here.
Share something, Gail. I would like to.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I would like to. I actually, I got a shiver when you talked about this priestess, and how the sound goes through the mountains. And I was wondering whether I was asking myself where such a place, where would be such a place here near me, and maybe it's not even important to find that place, but just knowing that might be the effect, when you sound that it just ripples somewhere you don't have any idea. So that really touched me. And what also touched me when you, Mylene, spoke about that message from that shaman man about going, as far as I understood it, going into the forest and just download whatever there is to download, because that is exactly what I did on Saturday. And that's when I took that photo, which you see behind me. I went into the forest, and usually it was one of the first times I went into forest without any plan. I had no intention. I just knew I really need to walk very slowly, and that's it. No rushing, no finding messages, no, doing some workout, no, keeping myself busy. There was no goal with it. So I was just sitting there, and I thought, like, okay, and I could feel how I'm, how I'm being penetrated by the forest, or how I'm sucking it all in. It was kind of a very intimate experience, and that was it. That was it, and it was one of the most beautiful things I experienced. And so when you said that, Mylene, about the forest, and we had a walk through a forest recently, some months ago. Yeah. And this, in connection with your main message for me, is, you're doing a good job. That's such a good message for me. Because there's always this, why am I doing this? And what am I going to do with it? And how am I going to, become visible with it? And like, it's not about that.
Yeah, and that's why Suzanne and I get along so well, because I just keep telling her she's doing a good job. Because she is. There's the cave. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then, that's the end.
Oh.
That's a wall there, and then look at these incredible black slugs.
Oh, yeah. Banana slugs.
Really cool,
Very
huh?
courageous, really. Oof.
Yeah, the first time we encountered a banana slug, when we moved to Vancouver Island, we were walking in the rainforest, and it was on the trail, and my husband is 6'5", big muscular guy, and we're walking on the trail, and there's this 6-inch banana slug on the trail, and we stopped dead. He goes, "What is that?" I said, "I don't know." He says, "Well, I'm going to walk around it." And we kind of, what are these things? There's one. Okay, I am going to cheat this time because of the cave story, and the one that I wanted to share. I'm just going to.
If you wouldn't pick that, I would have asked you for it.
All right, so. Can you see the dragon?
Yeah.
the dragon's mouth, the light beyond inside the dragon's mouth, and the stone path leading to the dragon's mouth. And then above is the light of the divine connecting to the universe. Well, this drum I made last year, and it came in a vision a few months earlier when I was visiting a friend who does hypnosis and takes you on journeys, and he said his instructions were go into the future. So as I was going into the future, and I don't even need to read this story because I lived it. So as I'm going into the future, I found myself walking down a dark tunnel, stone tunnel, which reminded me of Peru. And even though I had no flashlight or any other kind of external light, I could see in the dark. I could see the stones, I could see the path, I could see the tunnel twisting and turning, but just the darkness at the end of it. It just seemed to went on forever, twisting and turning with the black hole at the end, trying to follow where that black hole led to. And then when I reached the point in the tunnel where there was a wall right in front of me, and the path, which I see here, splits in half. One goes right, one goes left. Now, I've been on that journey before where you have to decide, do you take the right path or do you take the left path? And then I take the wrong path and I have to come back and take the right path. So I'm standing there thinking, which path am I supposed to take this time? And I'm wondering. And then as I'm standing there in this vision, wondering which path to take, the wall right in front of me shapeshifts into a giant stone dragon's head, bigger than my body, and that's just the head. And it looked me straight in the eye. It was alive, even though it was made of stone. Looked me straight in the eye, and it communicated with me in my mind, and it said, it opened its mouth really wide, and it said, take the path straight ahead. Well, the path straight ahead was through the dragon's mouth. So I stepped up onto its tongue and I followed the dragon's tongue and through the dragon's mouth. And there was a light. Instead of the dark at the end of the stone tunnel, in the dragon's mouth, there wasn't darkness, there was light around the corner. As you can see here, you can see the light around the corner of the dragon. So as I'm getting to around the corner, and now I can see what's beyond that light, and what was beyond that light was like your forest. It was a forest, a new world, and sort of like the words were printed across the sky, new world. And it was all lush and green and positive and happy, and like kind of a Shangri-La, peace, whatever. And that was the vision. And so last year when Suzanne said, Gayle, I've been wanting to go to Iceland for a long time. We should go to Iceland. And I said, well, I have a friend in Iceland, and I just made her a drum because she's my dragon sister. And she ordered her drum, and then I thought, what am I going to make on her drum? And that vision kept coming up, the one with the tunnel and the dragon's mouth. So that's what I painted, was the dragon mouth on the drum. So Suzanne and I went to Iceland. My friend Linda put together a tour for us. There were 9 of us, right? 9 of us, and 3 caravans, and we drove across Iceland, up over the glacier. We did ceremonies along the way. And when we reached the northern point of Iceland, we took a ferry out to Dempsey Island, which is a bird sanctuary. And originally it was, for fishermen, where they would offload their fish and pack it and get it ready to ship to the mainland. And it's just a small island. So small you could walk around it in an hour or so. And so we went there, and I could feel the island swaying And then I remembered the information that the North American continent and the European continent meet in Iceland. And there's actually a crack down through Iceland where the two continents are separated. Well, Dempsey Island is in the middle of those two continents. I could feel, because it's a 3-hour ferry ride out to the island. So it's out in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean at the Arctic Circle, by the way. And I could feel the island moving. And I'm thinking, oh, it must be a heavy wind. I'm listening, no wind. The caravan I'm staying in, there's no wind. There's no wind moving the caravan. I thought, well, maybe people are moving. No people. Everybody's out cold. No one's moving. The caravan's not moving, but I could feel the land moving. And to the point the next day, I was stumbling like a drunk because the land was moving, and I kept losing my equilibrium because of the land, just enough, because I can feel that. Anyway, so there's the 9 of us, and we were from Germany and Switzerland and Alaska and Canada and Japan, Canada, and So as we're standing there at the Arctic Circle, we had just come over the Icelandic glacier. We had 2 ladies there from Iceland, and we're holding hands in a ceremony for summer solstice. And I realized we were representing the glaciers around the world, around the Arctic Circle, because each of us countries have a glacier in our country, all the countries that were there. And I said, we are representing the glaciers of the world, the ancient water of Earth, as we're holding hands and standing there, and Linda playing her dragon drum. And we have a video of that, her playing her dragon drum. And so I thought, it's part of the future. I was said, go into the future, which gave me the vision. And then the future, the vision gave me the drum message. And then the drum message, we end up doing this amazing ceremony at the Arctic Circle, celebrating the dragons and celebrating the continents coming together and celebrating the Arctic waters, the ancient glaciers, all that wisdom that is stored in the ice. We were representing all of that ancient wisdom in that little ceremony. So that's why I wanted to cheat and pull that one, because that was a really poignant story, and very recent too.
In the year of the dragon, right? In the year of the dragon.
Yeah, and last year, yeah. No, last year was the year of the snake.
Oh.
Yeah, but to me, snake, dragon, put a wing on him and it's a dragon. Yeah, the year of the dragon was a whole. I did another dragon drum for the year of the dragon, but anyway, this was the year of the snake that came down. So, question: does any parts of those story trigger a question or a comment or something that you've experienced? Hands up.
Well, I've been to Iceland, and I've been walking right into this divide, and this is really amazing. And I was lucky enough flying into Iceland that at that very time the clouds went apart, and I could take a picture of the divide, and that's really enormous, and it's moving apart, I guess, at 3 centimeters a year. So and that's really fascinating. So when you said you were standing on that island, this really gives me shock waves, because that you really could feel the earth moving. And to me, Mother Earth is a living organism or living entity, and to feel to feel that movement must be amazing.
Yeah. It's happened to me a few times. It knocks me off my feet sometimes, and I go flying across the room and trying to catch my balance. They say, what happened? I said, the earth's moving beneath me. It's going a little too fast today. I blame it on the earth. So who else has something to share? Susan?
I found the dragon path into the mouth idea really incredible because I've had a couple of insights into two paths to the future, two possible paths.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you saw this other path opened up that went into the dragon's mouth to a place of light and idyllic beauty, that's incredibly beautiful and very hopeful. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that was the part that kind of blew my mind, is that we've always been shown two paths. We've never been shown keep going straight ahead. We've never been shown that path. And where does it go? Oh, there it goes. Yeah.
So isn't it often that we either say black or white and the right path is in the middle?
Well, going back to Peru now, my Peruvian teacher, the very first time I met him, he was giving a lecture, and in one of his lectures he was talking about, dark and light, black and white, positive, negative, good and evil. He said that's duality. That's the opposite ends. He said, what if we looked at it as temperatures, hot and cold? Neither one of them is good or bad. Neither one of them is evil or dark or light. They're just different. One's hot, one's cold. And each has their purpose. And what our job is, he explained, is that to find where we're most comfortable on that middle ground between hot and cold. And that middle ground will fluctuate depending on the challenges in your life and what's going on that day and whatever. So you're always going to be adjusting and readjusting yourself between the hot and cold. And so I like that version of it, instead of labeling it duality of, dark and light and good and evil, and just make it just two different things. They both exist. They both have always existed. And it's our job to find a good way to be in the middle.
Yeah. That reminds me of that sign in the I forgot the name, where you have the dot and then the drop white with a black dot, and the white dot with and the other way around.
Yeah,
So,
yin and yang.
Yin and yang, yeah. And this is just a two-dimensional version of the whole thing rotating. So this to me means that in each situation there's both of it, just a little more of one thing and maybe enormously more of the other thing, but they both exist at the same time. And I really like the idea to find one's own balance between the things, and this balance might shift according to the situation you are in.
Yeah, it's helped me enormously in not judging myself, because we are our worst enemies, self-judgment and self-loathing and all of that stuff, and we can find all kinds of things that we don't like about ourselves daily. Anybody else want to have a go at it?
If I can just add something.
Mm-hmm.
That really, because the last little while, the whole Shiva and Shakti marriage and union has been a theme for me. So that arises with this. And also the whole non-duality concept, and how like I had an experience where this was like a couple of years ago, where I was meditating and I had all this nerve pain arise. My whole body was on fire. And I just said, this is a sensation. I don't have to label it as pain. Pleasure is also a sensation.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, it transformed from nerve pain to just pure sensation. So that idea again of, we create so many of the cases of duality that in fact are just a construct of our mind,
Yeah, we base it
dancing
on our own personal experiences in life. Yeah.
and walking that line of like between divinity and earthliness, as you said, like walking that line in between the two.
Yeah.
That also arose.
Yeah, that line of balance. All right, so I'm going to pull another card. Let's see. I'm just trying to get these back in the case. So, guys, I cheated by pulling that one because I wanted to talk about that one.
We have
Okay.
a new participant, Gayle. Can you see?
Yes, I see. Mike?
Hello, Mike.
Yeah, your phone is still switched off.
He just said he's sorry that he's late.
But he's not muted.
Yeah. Maybe he could just say a word or two why he's interested in joining.
Mike, do you want to introduce yourself to these ladies? You have to turn your mic on, dear. There you go. What was that again?
My goodness, I'm gooning.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. So I'm going to pull another card and see what little story comes out of this one. All right. What's this one? Oh, ha! This is the White Raven, which is my other spirit name given to me. And it's called Illusion of Illumination. And that's a personal story. And I originally made that drum for myself. And I was with my Peruvian teacher at the time. And he was leading a meditation. And he had, how you do with meditations, they talk you through a certain scenario, a visualization. And I usually have a really easy time to go into that space between the pages, that space between realities, and visualize. But I couldn't see anything. I couldn't feel anything. All it was a white haze in front of me. And I'm sort of instantly started, reprimanding myself. Why can't I see anything? Why can't I feel anything? All I can, I'm being blocked. I'm being blocked. I don't understand. Why am I being blocked? And then the message in my head said, stand back. So in my mind, I stepped back from the white haze. And what I realized was, as White Raven, which is one of my first spirit names given to me, other than Thunder Horse Woman, as White Raven, and I was birthed as a baby raven from an egg. I pulled myself back and then realized I was the baby White Raven, and the white haze in front of me was my mother raven's breast, her chest, her white feathers. So I wasn't being blocked by the haze. I was standing too close to see it. I had to withdraw myself and stand back from the haze in order to get a different perspective of what I was seeing. And what I was seeing was my mother, the full-grown White Raven. So bringing that into our life situations, we often get too close to a situation or to an event or to a person that that our perceptions of it gets distorted. So then we have to pull back and be the observer of the situation or the event or the person and observe it from a distance so that you can see it from all the angles and see the truth of it instead of being too close and not seeing the details that are there because you have to stand back. And anyway, yeah, that's that story. I'm trying to, and I'm just wondering who else can identify with that concept of being the observer, standing too close to a situation or an event that um, negates you from seeing it in a clearer way.
Yeah, I just ate my doo doo. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Anybody else would like to add?
I just know a trick if you're in a situation and you're so immersed.
Yeah, no one cares.
I think we have a bug in here because it's my face, huh? I
Okay,
don't know.
just a minute. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
There,
Thank you.
done. I give it a shot and wait for them to, anyway, done.
Thank
We
you.
have control.
Yeah. Thank God. Or thanks to the universe. So I realized that when I'm in a situation where my emotional level is so high that I'm feeling to lose control of it, the good thing is to try to step back or step mentally on top of a balcony and look down on the situation and to see me and the other people interact and to see from my intellectual view what is going to happen and to try to get out of the emotion. That really helps to clarify the situation and my way how I act or react on it. That's the only thing I can say to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this thing too, the illusion of illumination, because I thought, I can see stuff, I can meditate, I can see visions, and so the illusion of my self-illumination of all what I can do and see, I can't see anything. So it was just an illusion of me being able to see. And then I said, I can't see anything. Oh, then that was an illusion too, because I was standing too close.
The illusion of the illusion.
Yeah, the illusion of illumination.
Illumination, yes.
Anybody else have a similar experience?
Now, it's good sometimes to step away and give things time. Especially as European women are drilled to act fast and plan and do. So that is a beautiful reminder. Also, I just a second ago with your last time when you mentioned illumination of the raven, it feels like it's the illuminated raven.
I'm just
So
getting
That
one of
is
these.
nice. I like that. That is
There.
nice.
Yeah,
Illuminated raven. I like that.
yeah. I think we had a couple more hackers in there, so I not going to wait for them to make all kinds of racket. Got rid of them. So yes, I got distracted. I'm sorry. Can I hear that again?
no worries. I said two things. One thing I said was that to step back, to take one's time and let life happen, and especially for life around us to catch up so we can see more, because
Yeah,
we're so fast.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's one thing. And the other thing, while you were saying this illumination a second ago, I saw that it's really the illuminated raven
hmm
that you've drawn. So it's not an illusion because there exists an illuminated raven.
Yeah. I'm getting fast at that. Yeah, so the raven, I mean, I remember what happened why I painted the raven on there, because I was doing a drum meditation. That was, basically how I get into the meditative mode, is by drumming and making a lot of noise in my head so I can drown out the words that are always bombarding me. And as I'm drumming, I could feel a pressing down on my head, because I'd gone into into that mode, the space between the pages, space between realities, and I could feel this heavy pressure on my head. But I kept drumming, and then I realized in that moment that I wasn't having a pressure pressing down on my head, that my head was actually pressing upward. And as I'm thinking, what is going on there? My head's pressing upward. Next thing I know, my head breaks through. It was an egg. And my head was a white baby raven, and it was all slimy and gooey, and I'm poking and looking around up through the hole in the egg, and then all of a sudden I'm drawn down through a red vortex, like the womb, and I'm like swooped down this red vortex and out the other side. And when I came out the other side, I was a full-grown white raven. And that's how I got the name White Raven. It birthed me. And then from then on, I had to start exploring that energy and researching that energy, because I didn't have any idea of what White Raven even meant. And so what I discovered was through the Inuit teachings, and I have walked with an Inuit teacher for almost 10 years, that in their prophecies, that when the White Raven returns to Earth, it'll bring new wisdom to the people. And I thought, well, I don't have any new wisdom. I don't understand that prophecy at all. And then I realized the wisdom that I'm sharing is not new. It's the original wisdom, the primordial wisdom. And it's new to the people because they've lost it. So it's not new wisdom, it's reawakening the old wisdom that we all have inside of us. So that's what I'm doing with the seminars and my cards, my drums, and one-on-one, is to help people remember and reawaken their own primordial wisdom that goes back to the beginning of time, the original wisdom, and not the versions that we have been patterned over lifetimes. So that's the story behind the White Raven energy in me. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Let me see. What time do we got? All right, so we've been going an hour. Did you want to go longer, or one more card?
I think there was a very nice ending, actually, with that White Raven thing. I don't know how
Okay.
you feel, but I
Yeah.
think it was a nice closing.
Yeah.
If anybody else has something to say, please go ahead. Otherwise, yeah.
I welcome your comments, your insights.
So amazing, these drum cards. Thank you so much for showing them, Gayle.
And the amazing thing to me is that it all interconnects to each other, and one is leading to the next. And I'm very happy you pulled the card about you were not going to pull. So it was a really nice set of new information to digest now.
Yeah. It kind of covers multiple of things there. Yeah, so
thank you very much. I'm gonna send the recording to everybody, and I'm always doing a transcript. So if anybody's interested in transcript, just let me know. Sometimes it's nice to read it and to pick out sentences. So okay.
Thank you.
And is it okay that we share this publicly?
Of course.
All right, good. I'm just checking to make sure and see if we can get more people. And thank you for all of my German friends.
And thank you for doing this, although you just passed surgery.
I got to keep busy. I got at least 5 projects all on the go all at the same time. I just finished a drum.
Oh.
Yeah, it's this one's going to Mexico City.
Yeah, this is amazing. You showed it on the on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
I really, really like it. Yes.
Yeah. So this one's going to Mexico City, and again, like my drums, they come in
Hold on, Gayle, you
visions.
said to me there are 3 dragons on it, and you said to me, "Do you see the third dragon?" And I can't see the third dragon.
Oh, right. Okay. So she was born and raised in Mexico. So we have the Mexican dragon on this side. But her mother, where is it? Her mother is French Druid. And she just spent 7 months in France retracing her ancestral roots. And if you look, and someone else seen it, okay, if you look at the eyes, and this is the face, the forehead of the dragon, this is the third dragon made up. You see it now?
Yeah.
And my one friend, Sandra, she said, it looks very vaginal. I said, well, this knot represents motherhood, this knot represents birth, and it does look very vaginal. And one time I did a drum for a woman in Iceland in the shape of a vulva, because in Iceland the female shamans there are called vulvas. And when she messaged me that I am ordering her a drum, the message came in that I had to take the drum in the shape of a vulva. So I messaged her back and I said, I'm getting a message that I'm supposed to do your drum in the shape of a vulva. Is that okay? And she said, most definitely. And so, yeah. So anyway, so I shared that insight on Facebook, and a friend of mine, she's actually a Buddhist Lama. She sent me an article about a Bulgarian cave that was carved by hand 3,000 years ago, and the opening of the cave is in the shape of a vulva. And then inside the cave, there's an altar at the back of the cave. We'll go into caves again here. There's an altar at the back of the cave. And in the ceiling of the cave, there's a hole where the sun can shine down. And so the way the sun shifts in the sky with the seasons, when the sun shines down and it hits the floor, the opening was in the shape of a penis. And so when the sun shined down and the shape of the penis in sunlight on the floor cave, and then as the sun tilts, as the seasons change, the penis gets longer. And when the penis touches the altar at the back of the cave, then it's time to plant the crops. It signals spring has arrived. So that was what I put on her drum. And at the back cave, instead of an altar, I painted a really teeny tiny placenta. And so she took that drum to France with her for a big women's festival, with mothers and pregnant women and babies and toddlers. And then she messaged me, because this was her first time speaking to a large group, several hundred women. She was there with her mom, who's also a vulva. And she said, what do I do? I'm scared. And I said, just take your drum and hold it like a shield. This big, giant vulva. That's all you have to do. And then just do your talk. That's all you got to do. That drum is going to give you the power and the confidence to speak your words. And then she said afterwards, all the women were having her drum for their babies and drum over pregnant bellies. And so these drums, they each one has a unique story and a unique purpose, and each one is one of a kind for the person that I'm making the drum for. And I delve into their ancestors, because it's their ancestors that tell me all their secrets. A face appeared, like when you do a walk, Cliff, and you see all kinds of faces start to appear in the shadows and highlights. And I've sat it there across from me in a chair. I have my coffee with it. I say, okay, is there anything else you need to tell me? Are we finished now? now. And then all of a sudden I seen my client's face on the drum, just half of it, her eyes, nose, and part of her chin. And so then I went to her Facebook page and went through all of her photographs, and then went back 9 years, and I found a photograph of her that matched the face on the drum. So then I sent the face on the drum and her face, and then I said, this is what appeared on your drum, and I didn't do it on purpose. And she said, well, that's really ironic, because that picture was taken while I was nursing my newborn son. You can't plan that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of crazy miracles that appear out of nowhere, and I have no idea what this story is behind it till afterwards, and then, oh, well, that's why that's there. Okay, good to know. So I have fun with it. Yeah. I've counted up how many drums I've painted with the shapes of vulvas on it. I think there's closer to 40 now. I didn't do it on purpose. It's just that I started looking at it and going, well, oh my God, that and that one, and it was 40. Talk about feminine power.
And giving birth to something new.
Yeah, giving birth. That's right.
And having fun, of course.
Yeah, definitely having fun. Yeah. So Suzanne and I, we kind of plan to do this every month. So those who would like to come back again, we invite you to come back again. And because I have 70 cards, so I have lots of stories and side stories and off stories and outshoots, and the drums are sort of the symbolism plus the story. Because there's always part of me in the story of what I've experienced and how that aligns with the person I'm making the drum for. Yeah. And lots of times it's because we've lived another life together. I think Suzanne and I were Roman soldiers together. We both remember the same battle. Yeah. Thank you all for joining us this month.
And thank you for being there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
And thank you for Susanne for setting that up and doing that.
Dankeschön. Ich sage Dankeschön. I say thank you. It was so nice stories. First card was really touching me with the singing, how to say, what was it? Priesterinnen? I don't know.
Priestesses.
Yeah.
So really, it shakes me. So
Yeah. Well, wait till you come and see us at Suzanne's. I'll sing to you in person, and it'll really shake you.
Yeah. So I hope that we will see us in September in Bavaria, and I hope that I can be a part of your workshop, that I can come to your workshop.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Yeah, because in person, I can create magic. I quantum physics and we got it.
Great. So I will write an email to Susanne, and I will ask some other things to workshop. Okay.
Yeah.
English. Oh my God.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, dear.